Cool. All right, well, good morning, everybody. We are live. This is, we've got 2 days left till the end of the month. So there you have it, man. April is gone. So let's stay focused and make some money the last 2 days of the month. So for everyone on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, and let's jump right at it. So I'm going to keep my list very simple today, guys. I'm not going to be jumping around between a lot of stocks. Apple is going to be my first one, and Facebook. So Apple had great earnings. So did Facebook. Let me pull up the Facebook chart here. So you've got Facebook and Apple right here on my screen, right next to each other. And let's go with Apple first. So Apple hit a after hours high of 139.52. And you can see then it faded away to 135.53. There were some comments on the conference call that I guess the acceleration of their revenues is going to slow down. There could be some production, slowdowns or whatever the case may be, right? So that caused the stock to fade down to 135.53, but then it had a nice bounce. And now we're trading right smack in the middle of 139 and 135. So I like this consolidation that we've had in pre-market. If Apple breaks out of like 137.80, we can go long. Put your stops at 137. You're risking 80 cents on the trade. If Apple fades and we see it break below 136.70, go short, right? Some are speculating that it could fade just like AMD did yesterday. So AMD, wow, I just looked at VXRT and that thing is still going. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts right now.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, you don't want to chase that, guys. Let it consolidate. I'll pull up VXRT right after, but yeah. So I've got my short idea on Apple. I've got my long idea on Apple. So I'm just gonna wait for the setup, wait for the trigger, and go for it. Facebook, obviously, beast of a stock. This stock killed it with their earnings report. It's gapping up freaking almost 30 points, man. 23 points. This is a big gap up. Big gap up. I honestly don't know if it has more juice to go higher. It could. So if it does, look to go long. If it breaks out of 332, then we can put our stops like 330. I think giving it a 2-point range is fair. But if we start to see this support zone that I'm marking up on my chart, if we start to see this, like the 329.5, 328 range, if we start to see that to fail and there's no buying support that comes in, then I think we can test 325, which, where do I get 325? It's kind of a zone that we had from yesterday, this flag in after hours, the 325 to 324 range. So if that holds, then I do think if Facebook does come down to this level, that could be a potential buying area for it. And if that doesn't hold, then I don't know, maybe 320, 318. Right now, the 200 MA on the 5-minute time frame is at 318. So I do think the 200 can act as support. I highly doubt Facebook is going to come that low. But if it does, those are the price targets. If it rips higher, I mean, we're in all-time highs. So the only reference we could really use, you could use the Fibonacci study to determine how much higher it could go. But me personally, I like to look at level 2. Level 2 is the playbook. It shows me where the sellers are, especially when you're in all-time high. So right now on level 2, I see high sellers as high as 339. So yeah, you've got a batch of sellers at 333, 335, 339. So it looks like for now, that's where the the sellers are. We'll see when the market opens up, because this is obviously with pre-market data. So right there alone, I just covered Facebook and Apple. I'm going to stay laser focused on those two. So I'm not flipping those charts around. Another name, Plug. I'm going to keep this on like a B list for me personally. But we got some news that they have a partnership with a company to create like electric buses. We got a pop. It's pulling back a little bit. Let's see if this can rally back up. All right. So not a very clean setup at the moment, but I like the action. On the daily chart, we're sitting on the 200-day moving average, which is good. If you zoom in close enough, you could actually see that the AMA is starting to curl up. So if that AMA in the next if Plug can rally, the AMA in the next couple days will cross above the 200 and the 20 MA, and potentially this might not even be a bad swing on Plug. The only thing I don't like about Plug is that damn error that they had with their accounting. To me, I will never swing a stock that has like financial accounting issues. That builds zero trust. So for me personally, you'll never see me swing Plug. If I do swing Plug, I'll swing it with call options, because I can limit my risk. But with shares, hell no. That's just me personally. Another stock, BTX. BTX went nutty yesterday. Yesterday we were trading it on this first bull flag right here that I'm marking up on my chart. And on level 2, we were saying that this stock could go up to 50 bucks. Literally, we were saying that down here when I was trading at 28. And there you have it. It hit a high of, well, actually this was after hours, no? Oh no, yeah. Hit a high of like almost 55. So right now BTX is kind of doing nothing in pre-market, and that's okay. Because if we can see some action kick in, I want to see the stock push. Now, keep in mind, I mean, it's a low float, so it's a little dangerous, so be careful with it. If BTX breaks below 38.50, which is pre-market low, we can look to potentially short it. I don't know if maybe, I mean, you probably have to have a boutique broker like Centerpoint to, to short a stock like this. They don't trade options, so your only option is to trade equity. If it breaks below 38.50, we could probably see it come down like to 35. If it breaks below 35, then yeah, it's got some downside. So I'm gonna keep BTX on one chart all the way to the left of me, just to kind of have it on my peripheral. So if I see some movement on it, I'm gonna get in. I know I brought up Moderna yesterday. I'm gonna bring it up again today. Moderna's price action yesterday wasn't too hot, but I'm still gonna keep an eye on it because I like this damn daily chart. Bull flagging today. Moderna can potentially break out. All-time highs is 189.37. We are 5 points away from it. I'm telling you, and Moderna is a stock that can move. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one again. Yesterday wasn't the day. Maybe today is the day. So let's see. Some other names, BLNK and CHPT. I'm going to keep an eye on both of these. The reason why is because yesterday General Motors came out with some news that they signed, I guess, an agreement with 7 infrastructure EV charging station companies. And these two stocks got a nice pop. And I'd like to see if we can get some continuation on these stocks today. So I'm going to keep an eye on them. They're trading very lightly in pre-market. So not much going on with BLNK. If I see it break out of this 40-40 range, we can go long. I guess you could put your stops at, $39.90, risking 50 cents on the trade. CHPT, the way I'd play it is if it breaks out of 27.20, go long. Throw your stops at right there like 26.80. So you're risking 40 cents on the trade. So those are all my ideas. I'm going to stay laser focused. I'll let Taj cover VXRT since he brought that one up. There are some other small caps like GRTX, PSTI, and just some other ones that I'm going to keep an eye on my other monitor. But these are going to be my A-lists for today. So, Taj, on to you, bro.
Yeah, so I'll kick things off with some of the small caps since um, today's going to be a good blend of similar to yesterday, how having small caps and large caps moving today. Um, we have quite a variety of small cap stocks that we can play, as well as some of the big tech names. So for the small caps, there are going to be two main names that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. One is VXRT. VXRT just had this huge pop come in. Alex listed the news a little earlier. Um, they're to present at the World Vaccine Congress, Washington, 2021. So because of that, VXRT had some huge volume come in when it was trading down. I would like to wait, be a little patient on this play, maybe wait for the AMA to catch up a little bit. However, VXRT, I was looking at some of the prior data with the stock. There's some resistance at $10. Well, there is resistance at $10, but if we can break and hold this level, we have nothing until 1280 on the daily chart. So with that being said, here going right into the open, so I think it's going to be it's going to be fast out of the gates. So keep an eye on it. If we continue to consolidate here, which is what I would prefer to happen, VXRT, allows the AMA to catch up. We can play the break of $10, throw our stops around the AMA, wherever that's going to be towards the open. I'll talk about it a little more the closer we get to the open, but that's the general idea going in right now. If we can break that $10 price range. Another one is CLOV. CLOV is a beast this morning. Closed yesterday at 1050, had a prior high of 1123 yesterday, and we're already gapping up above yesterday's high. We're gapping up here to 1150. We're currently trading at 1143, and there's a nice bull flag pattern forming here as well. So similar to VXRT, if this can hold, we can play CLOV if it pops above 1150. Throw our stops around 1129, so a very small risk for this stock. And if I'm looking at the daily chart, we would be clearing the 200 MA, which would be huge. And our next resistance isn't until around $12. If we can clear $12, I see about 1370 in the picture when it comes to daily resistance. So keep an eye on this name. This is very strong today, considering the pullback that it had yesterday. It looked like it was going to reject the daily 200 MA, but with today's pre-market data, that's clearly not the case. We're getting not only at breaking that 200 MA, but gapping up above yesterday's prior high. So CLOV is going to be a stock that's definitely in play today. Another stock that was trading a little better when I initially looked at it, but it's given back a good amount of its gains, is Tilray. Tilray obviously had the news come out yesterday, Bank of America giving that price target upgrade to $23. And it just went on a run yesterday. Traded as low as around 1740 and just shot up to 1960. It was consolidating here during the pre-market data, but it's starting to give back that support at $19. So for Tilray, I would personally like to see it trade above yesterday's highs, 1957, before it really strikes my interest. But I'll just be keeping this in my peripherals just in case it does start to find some support, especially considering the day that it had yesterday, trading up above that 20 MA, catching a bounce off of the 8 MA. There's potential we could see the 8 cross the 20 years soon until Tilray gets another pop to the upside. Long term, I think Tilray is going to be just fine. I think it's going to be a beast in the future as things start to incorporate some of their products. So keep an eye on Tilray, especially for the long run. I also want to keep an eye on the Qs because the Qs are gapping up aggressively. Closed at 339, and now we're trading back up to all-time highs. We gapped up into all-time highs. Traded as high as the pre-market data is 342.88. We're now at 342.25, which is still above the all-time highs right here at 342.23. So that's great news for the Nasdaq. If this can hold, I will swing the Qs again. considering Apple had strong earnings, is gapping up. Facebook had strong earnings, obviously gapping up. QCOM, a lot of the big names that move the market are gapping up. I think the Qs could go on another run. Obviously, we have Amazon reporting earnings today, so that could have a pretty significant impact on the Qs. But like I said, if the market continues to act strong today, I wouldn't mind not only day trading the Qs, but also swinging some potential calls on the Qs. So the way I see it, I actually want to get a little early to this party. I would want to see the Qs, maybe trade back up to 342.60, 342.50 to look to go long. Throw my stops here around 342 and see if we can ride the momentum. Again, if a lot of these names like Apple and Facebook are strong out of the gates, you're going to see the Qs ripped. This is what it's been waiting for, the Fed decision. That obviously came out yesterday. Qs initially sold off, then had a pop, then rallied back up, and then gave back a lot of the gains. But all things considered, they didn't raise rates, and it was perceived as, pretty much what was expected. So, the way I see it, things are back to running as usual. You're having a lot of these names report good earnings. So, again, a lot of things are in place for the Qs to continue this rally. We have been consolidating for about 3 weeks, damn near a month, right here around 342 to 333. So whenever this thing breaks out, it should go on a really nice run. You have the daily 20 MA starting to catch up on the Qs. So let's see if we can get some follow through after some of the earnings reports today. I'll also be keeping an eye on the S&P 500. Very similar to the Qs, has been consolidating here for about 3 weeks. I would argue it's been a little stronger than the Qs, but it's pretty much doing the same thing. Hit a high yesterday, 419, then pulled back, right? Got that pullback after that Fed news happened. Initially rallied, hit the high, pulled right back down near the lows, and now during the pre-market, we rallied right back up to the highs. We're actually gapping up $1 above the all-time highs, which is 419, gapping up to 420.20. So for the SPYs, if it breaks 420.45, we could go long, throw our stops around 420.10, 420.13. And again, see if we can ride this momentum to the upside. The market is very, very strong. Facebook crushed their earnings, Apple good earnings, QCOM good earnings, and I think a lot is going to ride on Amazon earnings, but there are rumors being talked about that Amazon is going to be doing a split with their earnings as well. And if you remember back when Tesla did that, let's see if I can bring up a daily chart of that. Tesla did the same thing. When was it? It was way back here. Here we go. On this day here, and then look at the day Tesla had. They did a 5-to-1 split. Tesla opened at 440.61, closed at the high of $500. Rallied nearly 60 points on $400 stock on that day. So just keep in mind, if Amazon were to do something like that, I think you're going to see a very similar reaction, considering it's been very strong lately. So let's keep an eye on that. But other than that, the big names I'll be keeping an eye on for my A-list: VXRT, CLOV, Facebook, Apple, and then the overall markets, specifically the Qs.
Nice. I think we're gonna have a good day today. Yeah, there's a lot of it's gonna be a good mix of small caps and large caps, and a lot of biotech stocks that I've got on my watch list for today. So I'm excited. I feel like today's gonna be a really, really solid day. So for everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, guys. Smash that like button and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later with Trade of the Day.